Hello, my name is Tom. I'm a fourth year student at the University of Exeter, and today I'm going to be talking about Apple stock predictions, a comparative study of SES, Holt-Winters, and Sarima forecasting models. So to start with the introduction and objective, so this is to stress the importance of forecasting stock market analysis in sort of financial trends, and this has kind of been the main focus of financial institutions for many years. As AI has risen in recent years, so has its applications in the prediction of these stocks. So Apple stock is the one that I chose. It's the most valuable company in the world, and it's been running for many years, so I would have a sufficient sample size. The objective is to study short and medium term stock prices using 3 different machine learning models that I'll get into later. So initially, this is the data set, and I'm going to talk a bit about pre-processing. So here's the overview of the data. It's daily sample series from 1980 to 2023. Date, open, high, low, close, and raw close. But close here is adjusted for stock splits, so that we have a continuous variable. I eventually settled on the date and the standard adjusted closed price for my processing. So here we have the date format, which I then converted to date time for time series analysis, isolated 2013 to 2023 to give me a decade, and forward filled the stock holidays such as weekends and holidays. I forward filled those values. The methodology, so here are my evaluation metrics. So RMSE, which is the root mean squared error, which is the primary metric that I used, essentially a measure of the average magnitude of errors between predicted and actual values in a model, and then the percentage version of that, which calculates a percentage of the averaged observed values, providing a normalized and relative scale to compare different models. And I also include R squared and 95% confidence intervals for linear regression, where I compare the predicted and observed values. So the 3 models I used was simple exponential smoothing, a forecasting method that smooths time series data by giving them exponentially smaller weights as they decrease and go into the past. Holt-Winters, which takes seasonality and trend of data into account, so it's more accurate for stocks. And then Sarima, which is a complex model, which is seasonal autoregressive, sort of difference than moving averages. And essentially it's a very complex model that is able to measure all of these variables together, and then it goes through different iterations. So here are the SES findings. It has quite a high RMSE, which is not so good. We want a low RMSE, and it also has a high percentage value. This indicates limiting effectiveness, and this is due to the inability to adapt to trends. You can see it's just a straight line across. It's not actually predicting anything really. All the further graphs are available in the appendix. Here for Holt-Winters model, we have an improved performance of the SES. So our MSE and percentages across different time horizons are lower. As you can see here, the percentage values are about 6-7% for 7 days. 30 days into the future is about 10%. 90 days, it can range quite a bit, but 7.3%. So essentially, this model is going through different permutations of add and multiply for the trend and seasonality respectively, which is a unique aspect of Holt-Winters modeling. I then did linear regression and R squared for all of these, and they can be found in the appendix. For the Sarima model, it indicated initially strong performance in the short-term forecast with a very low MSE percentage, but it had challenges with longer forecasts, such as 90 days, and also due to computational constraints, I actually ran out of RAM on the computer that I was running the model on, so this is something to keep in mind. And here we have the different values for the different 7, 30, and 90 days into the future. And here's just a graph of what it's done with the 95% confidence intervals. So in discussion, the comparison of the model performance and the practical application. So the SES model provided sort of very limited information and essentially just projected into the future. The Holt-Winters model provided a lot more consistent modeling over time and provided the ability to have sort of more accurate capture of the seasonality and trend. The Sarima model stands out due to its comprehensive approach, but kind of struggles with computational complexity and, of course, long-term predictions. There are many limitations that need to be kept into account. So the assumption of a consistent market behavior. So there's many different factors such as economic impacts and everything. Of course, with any and all models, overfitting and biasing are big issues. The detection of error, while it tells you the magnitude of the error, the RSME, and percentages, they tell you the magnitude, they don't tell you the direction. The efficient market hypothesis and computational constraints, the exclusion of the risk-adjusted returns, and all of these other are issues that need to be taken into account. So in conclusion, although these models are able to predict certain things, in practicalities, much more needs to be taken into account to be able to model this scope of work. Thank you very much for your attention, and here are my references. Thank you.